Hello everybody, and welcome back to the... Is my mic working?
I can hear you.
Okay, I just don't see my mouth moving on my, my little VTubey thing. Is VODutube working?
No, that's not.
Hello, VODutube. Oh, I see. It's trying to use the, audio input from my Switch. Okay, there we go. It should be the correct microphone now. There we go. Unusual problems to have. Alright.
Yeah.
You want to use this instead of your default device, right? No.
No.
So yeah, welcome back to the Polearm Challenge with a Scala. We're a goat now. I picked up a new shape since last week. Also, at the end of last week, we ran around, did some intro stuff for the Night Fae, and we decided to do some PvP, unfortunately, so that we could get this here weapon, this polearm. As you may notice, the one we have equipped is a little better now. Because, as I mentioned, I was going to do some PvP off stream, and I did do that, so now it's very big. I believe it's actually the best polearm we have access to outside of doing, like, high-level fated raids, which is super duper endgame group content, which we will not be doing.
The pull list of arms.
So yeah, we basically have our best in slot for weapon. Until Dragonflight comes out. So, I think we should continue on with the Night Fae campaign and go find a way to Torghast. By jumping in a big ol' hole. Whee!
What rank are we with them right now?
Oh yeah, right. I should show that I got some extra renown with the Night Fae since we were last present. Once this loading screen finishes. Come on. Look at that picture of Denathus on the right. He looks so smug. We are now rank 69, renowned with the Night Fae, out of a maximum of 80. We also upgraded our marriage certificates, so now we've got extra fun abilities there too. Hi Venari, what's up?
All mysteries will be revealed.
I need to get into the jailer's tower.
Trust not Torghast, huh? Once I told you that your friends were being held inside, I knew it was only a matter of time before you came to me for aid. Because I was able to anticipate your request, it just so happens I have already acquired a portal device that leads into the tower. I will dispense with the usual warnings and disclaimers, as your unique combination of courage and foolhardiness would render them moot. Do not ask how it was obtained. Simply consider it a gesture of goodwill that you are now obligated to repay. I look forward to our future transactions, Moorwalker.
Venari is such a fun character.
Partner, let us see how long you last.
I dare not step inside that accursed tower myself, of course. Offer a gift. Find Bane. You should take you somewhere near your missing ally, or you'll end up trapped in the tower's ever-shifting halls for all eternity. But those are the risks one must take, I suppose.
Yep.
Cure something of that.
Either you'll find him or be lost forever, one or the other.
Yeah. Oh.
A gift from Venari. Look at all these doors. None of which we will be using right now. Also, one that just never got used over here. It leads to nothing.
And it never will.
And it never will. Weird that you use the group finder pop up for solo things like that. It's one of those things that makes me go, well, I guess. Akrobon Hall. That's not a real thing. I love this repair NPC that's just a literal anvil out by itself. Absorb this remaining fragment of the soul. Oh, hey, that actually works for this hey do a thing from the Night Fae to do stuff in Torghast that I had and couldn't do.
Oh, nice.
That's convenient. This is sufficiently Torghast to count.
Sufficiently Torghast.
Sufficiently Torghast to count, despite being a quest area instead of an actual Torghast run. Fake Torghast.
Real fake Torghast.
Real fake Torghast. That's right. What even is War Machine? Auto attacks generate more rage. Killing an enemy increases rage. Yeah, okay, sure, let's get that. So, something interesting is it's been data mined that the new class in the next expansion actually has abilities for Torghast that they can get unique to their class. Which I guess makes sense, because there's going to be a period where they're usable in pre-patch.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with the workings to know how remarkable that is, but that sounds...
I mean, they had to make a whole... Like, they made a bunch of unique abilities for every class to gain.
Yeah.
Like, we got, get the War Machine talent. Durations of Blade Storm and Avatar are increased. Those are things that would mean nothing to any other class except Warrior. Because those are Warrior abilities. And so there's a new class next expansion, and Torghast, which is very much remaining a Shadowlands thing, has gained abilities for the new class. That being said, it's not the first time they've done something like that. I love this guy just A-posing, by the way. There's a boss from Vanilla WoW who has something that's generally referred to as a class call, where he will yell out a certain class name, and an ability will happen based on that. Like, okay, I don't remember what they specifically are, but basically something to counter all members of a specific class in the group. And every time they added a new class, they added an appropriate thing to that boss as well, even though any decently high-level player can solo it easily and ended it in like 10 seconds. To never even get to that part of the fight. Just in case. I believe monks just constantly roll around for 10 seconds. Demon hunters, their lore is that they're blind and see with magic. So, of course, their class call effect is your screen just turns black because you're blind. I don't remember what Death Knight's got. But yeah, they've had fun doing goofy stuff for that. Just, hey, backwards compatibility.
Sure. Why not?
Wow, I've been hit by a laser.
You get used to it.
Inconveniently lasered, but just another average Saturday for a Scala. Break some pots like I'm Link Legend of Zelda. Beat up this hand. Alright, that might as well be what I'm doing now.
Bringing new meaning to the phrase "throw hands."
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Patch hands or whatever it is. I don't fucking know.
I think those are both. I think those are both right. Probably. Probably.
I for some reason initially read that as fissionably late.
You're also fissionably late. Rescue this pig, and now I will be able to become pig.
Yay. Like fashion, but for fish.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Look at how jump better. Oh wow, look at this puzzle with spike floors. Nope. I choose not to. Oh yeah, Leo is not in call because he spent an entire day hollering at the top of his lungs about tubes. And that has had consequences.
Well, I'm sure it was at least fun.
Alright, let's see. Locked chest puzzle. Oh wait, I wasn't paying attention to... Okay, that... There we go. Yeah. Look, Gordon. Tubes. We can use these to cross big pits. Jason, have you seen Half-Life VR with the AI self-aware?
You know, I've never actually gotten around to watching it. I am only aware of it through osmosis from all of you.
I think you would really like it.
Oh, I'm sure I would. I just, again, it's like...
We should steal you to... We should,
a weird time.
we should steal you to watch it with us sometime, maybe.
Sure.
Watch party.
Yeah.
Look, Gordon, my clones. Big boy out there.
Large.
So it used to be that you had a limited number of lives in Torghast, and if you used all of them, that guy would show up at the start of a floor and just start progressing through it.
Ah.
And if he caught you, your run ended because you super died. You got kicked out by the Terragru. Which is like the Tarask plus a Gru, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was about to, like, I wonder where they got that name from.
Yeah.
Everything is negotiable. Your patronage is always appreciated. For you, I offer only the finest.
The echolalia tube is a part of the ear.
Remember,
Tube! Like saying cube in Sonic Colors, but in this case it's tube. Slowly walking my way. Smashy, smashy. Again, skipping the spiked floor puzzle. because I have the big ups. And now I can turn it off.
Excellent.
Leo punished for tube crimes. Tube too hard.
Something series of tubes.
Whoop. That was a big axe. I'm not used to it lasting that long because of the upgrade I got. Tube Torment, or Tubement.
Tube.
You may be wondering what that floating polygon is. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Oddly large maw rat. And big. How do you end up making negative progress on solving an ARG?
Have you tried turning the tubes off and on again?
Let me tell you a tale.
A tale of tubes.
An undertale.
Yes, let's hear this.
Weave us a Kirby's epic yarn.
Tell us the most tubular tale ever told.
Wait. No, I did it wrong. Don't remember the... There we go. I had to remember how to puzzles. That's a lot of axes. That's a lot of giant axes. I guess they're more pendulums. God damn, the jailer's mastered pendulum summoning.
Ah.
That seems unhelpful. Oh dear.
I mean, is he gonna fix the redstone? Or...
Oh. Sounds like someone made an oopsie whoopsie.
Yeah, it just sort of feels like, oh, if it's not working how it's supposed to, then unless he's like
My wares?
knows that there is still a way to fix it, it kind of seems like that's kind of a big problem.
A little bit.
Nothing is negotiable. Until our next transaction.
Enough 75% increased resource generation.
Ah. Okay.
Hey, look, there's Bane. Hi, edgy guy who looks the same as all the other edgy guys. Get back over here. Get over here.
Have you tried knocking?
Just use the knock spell.
It's a text adventure by Douglas Adams, where there's a door that's like set up as though it's some big puzzle to figure out how to solve it. But actually, you just have to like type knock.
The spell of Diamond Pickaxe.
Champion. I saw
Champion.
you escape before we were recaptured. You have
At least he's not
managed to
calling
take
us a Maw Walker. Out we go. Anyway, that guy dropped a key also. Let's go tell Venari about it. Just a little out of bounds. I don't think you need to worry about breaking things when it is already breaking itself. I think at
Yep.
that point it's just kind of on the table. You know?
A little bit.
Do you feel the
Hey, Venari, I found this key. I'll tell you once your friend's back in Ouroboros. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Okay.
The Waystone. I hope your
Oh, there's a
presence
Kyrian
allows
assault
me
right
to
now. There's
travel
Kyrians here.
I will stay close. May the Earth Mother guide our path.
Even though chronologically at the point we're in the story, they shouldn't be able to be here yet. Don't worry about it. That happens later. The timelines are converging.
The Waystone worked. What a remarkable place.
Hey, what's up?
What news?
How may I aid you?
No dialogue, no scene. Like, hey, we found him. We have nothing to say about this. I could have sworn there was a scene here.
No
Oh.
time. Let honor, spirits watch over you.
Well, you're not even gonna go sit in your corner? I know when I originally did him back on my main, did this on my main, I think there was a scene here, and then Bane just kind of went and sat in the corner, and he pretty much stayed there for the entire expansion and did nothing. He had no involvement in the story.
Well,
Hi, Wesley.
You honor me with your attention.
Ah, Mallwalker, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Virain. I deal with assets and liabilities for Cartel Vey. I've heard you're able to freely travel between Oribos and the Maw, a place of great interest to my cartel. Would you mind if I ask you a few questions about it?
Fortune and wealth to you.
Question 1. Is it true the jailer's forces have grown in both strength and number? Yes, they've grown more powerful since Danaski's betrayal. Do you find it challenging to survive amidst the oppressive and unceasing horrors within the Maw? Subtle Blizzard survey. I eat monsters like the jailer for breakfast. Ever heard of the Burning Legion? As you braved the Maw, has Venari proved to be a valuable ally to you? You remember that Venari specifically told you not to mention your arrangement to anyone. Venari? Who's Venari? Oh, I'm sure you're quite familiar with her by now. There's no way a mortal like you could survive an excursion to the Maw without assistance. Tell me everything about your dealings with Venari. I've never met anyone named Venari.
Shadow offers infinite.
I see. How unfortunate. We may be a lot of things, but we sure ain't no snitch. Whee! Ow, my ankles!
I trust you are not followed. Return only if you must.
Cartel Vey was asking questions about me. I'm flattered. Make sure you never tell them anything. Ever.
Will that be all, Mo Walker? Do not
Oh, before we carry on, this was carried by one of the jailer's more powerful guards. You know what it does? I believe this is a key of sorts to a chamber within Torghast. Search the antechamber for a device that will accept it. Where it leads after that, I can only speculate. Alright, let's begin the difficult task of trying to find a door that will fit this key. Surely this will take a very long time and be really difficult.
it's going to not.
It's right
take
over
a long
here.
Time more. Yeah, okay.
It's right over here.
I'm like,
We had to walk past it on our way out to go ask Venari if she knew anything. Hi, what's up?
I will aid you
Um,
as I can.
We have not come to extract more of your memories.
Beware.
Who are you?
One of his, are you? What is something else? Mortal. No. Yes.
Feels a little bit Dark Souls right now.
Walks the mall
Yeah.
all the way to my prison to save me. To use me. I was used by him.
like, also, sometimes things borrow from other things, and that's okay.
True.
To make my memories. Did you take them? No, no. He took them.
It's just got the vibes.
Used me for his
Mm.
purpose. And left me here. The rift of memory for how long? It matters not. Time, after all, is not a construct.
Elden Ring definitely ripped off Dark Souls. You're right.
More Walker. You come, you go. To free me? Perhaps. To aid me, yes. To aid me as I aid you. Fate, you see, has bound us.
Streamlabs, why did you put a $sign in front of that? I didn't put that there. Why did you put that there, Streamlabs?
Wait, I didn't see. What did Streamlabs do?
Streamlabs was like, join the Palinauts Discord, $sign. Why? Why $sign?
I wonder, because sometimes aren't, like, $signs are, like, used in code sometimes for various reasons. I wonder if there's, like, just a weird thing where, like, that's not actually supposed to be visible.
Maybe. I'm gonna check the CloudBot settings real quick.
Weird.
Yeah, no, there's straight up no $sign in that message. That it's not supposed to send one of those.
Very strange.
Okay, well, that's weird. It costs money to join the Discord server. Yes, of course.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, yes, it does, Jason. They have to give us
It
all
does?
$5.
Oh,
Remember?
Sure.
That's right. They have to give you and me $5 each.
The steep price.
Go find my memories. Okay, I psychically know exactly how to do that. Obviously. God, that Demetrius, though. Look at him, so smug.
Yeah, that is an amazingly smug face.
Also, Venari has more quests for us.
Have you come to trade?
Rule 4, make a list. I've discovered that one of the jailer's inquisitors is attempting to devise a method to track my movements. Clearly, that is a problem for me, and by extension, it is a problem for you. The Inquisitor has risen to the top of my list of potential threats. In the past, I would have had to deal with him myself. But now, I have a business partner. Put an end to him, yes? And if you can, determine exactly how he intended to track me.
Trust. Rule 4. Maintain a list of those who might wish to end your existence. Do not flatter yourself. Your presence on this list is among the least of the Morsworn's functionaries. At the top of my list is an Inquisitor. His position has risen. I would be most generous were his existence to cease by your actions.
You know this. There are at least 2 quests in the game that contain the phrase, you know this because you are psychic. Admittedly, one of them is a reference to the other, but that's not the point.
You'd think at some point they would develop on the whole you being psychic thing some more.
No, of course not. Obviously not. Why would they do that? Why would they attempt any sort of continuity?
You make an excellent argument.
Hey, what do you know? Both of the guys need to fight are in this direction. Almost like they planned it that way. You know, I'm not sure that there are. I mean, sometimes people get, like, visions and stuff, but that's more just because of, like, connection to the elements or whatever.
Welcome, friend. The steward's job is never done.
Bird boy. Because the plot demands. Who battle? Apply copious amounts of violets until target is no longer moving. That's how this goes. Oh my god, alright. Bring this to Venari. Bring this to Venari. Okay. Multiple prizes. I am a warrior. I am not a wizard. Have you seen me cast any spells?
You know one smell. You know one spell, and it is smash.
True. Hit them with a stick. Spell of kills you.
Our word kill, but you speak through your actions.
Yeah, right, yeah. What about power word kill, but you're an artist because a picture is worth 1,000 words?
I mean, sure, but everyone can summon a blue cat creature. That's just like the baseline.
I'm not summoning a blue cat creature, I'm turning into a blue cat creature. And that's because I've bonded with the plant spirits. As you do.
It's important to take time to bond with plant spirits.
Yeah. Exactly. As you do. Oh, come on. Stop spawning. I'm trying to do this thing. Alright, back to Venari. I guess?
I have limitless time. You do not.
Puzzling cryptogram. This is a children's toy.
Do not
Okay.
throw the jade.
Coin. It's money.
I will detain you no longer.
Oh, I don't need to keep tracking honor points anymore.
My cartel has been sending agents into the mall for some time. A dangerous assignment, but the lure of valuable information has a certain appeal to my kind.
Your cartel says they know what you did. Is there something you're not telling me? Oh, there are many
Plenty
things.
of things.
There are many things I choose not to tell you, as I'm sure there are many things you do not tell me. Trust is built on discretion, Mawwalker. Without it, business would be impossible. That being said, I have trusted you with my most valuable secret, the location of this very refuge. I ask only that you trust me in return. I do enjoy Venari's character a lot. It's like, she is so blatantly untrustworthy, except she never actually does anything to harm you or go against your own agenda. She is actually she's so suspicious, but she's actually completely trustworthy. And I love that.
Go carefully into the darkness.
I require my hands. Well, one hand would suffice. Both would be better.
The past is a shadow.
Alright, time to go find a way to do that. Whee! Back outside. I could be a Fury Warrior and dual wield polearms, but I decided not to because my options were already so limited in terms of what weapons I could get. Also, like, physically, it would be kind of weird to do so. Hey, Venari!
Interest, Mawwalker.
I happen to possess such a device that I'll be pleased to give you. For a price, of course.
Will that be all, Mawwalker?
Purchase an anima thing from Venari. Is there anything here I want to buy? Nope.
Procure something.
Anime, the lifeblood of the Shadowlands. That would make this a very different but also much more interesting expansion. I hope the fact that the assault is active isn't going to mess with completing this objective, because this is a different phase. Oh, you know, this guy's got a quest marker on him. Violence. Look at those people on their mounts because they have that unlocked. Oh, I'm sorry. This flame forged summoner doesn't have any molten anima. My mistake. Obviously.
That would be silly.
That'd be silly.
What's next? You expect every bear to have a pelt?
Next, you'll think that every animal's gonna have a tooth.
Yeah. Well, there are plenty of animals that don't have teeth, but if one of them has one, you'd think the others would.
Yeah. Or have more than one tooth or paw or whatever. Why did... Like, there's a quest from the early days in the Barrens that's just like, oh yeah, go get some zebra hooves for me. Why do none of these zebras have hooves?
Yeah, weird. One zebra took them all. That'd be really funny, actually. You go through and you, like, you know, you kill a bunch of things and you're like, oh, none of these have, like, the one thing that I'm looking for. And then you find one and you kill it and it has, like...
12.
Yeah, it had, like, as many as they should have been had every one of them had the right number. And it's like, oh, this one literally took them all. It's so fucked up.
Or like you could just see on the models of the other ones, their legs just don't have hooves on them.
And the one has a like big sack on their back that opens and just all the hooves spill out.
Their back sack. What do you mean? How have I not? No, I have a map. It's a mount that I was taught that I don't have here. Your mount ignores your call within the maw. It's like a camel that you have just a hump on your back full of, instead of water, it's full of hooves.
Yeah.
That you ration.
That's where hooves come from.
Oh. From camel humps?
Yeah. You didn't know?
No, I'm learning all kinds of things today. We sure have conversations here on Palinauts, don't we?
We do.
It's like a pinata.
Well, Wesley, they're neither though. They're
hooves.
It's just it's like a very large hoof on their back.
And you hit it with a bat and it dispenses like a bunch of smaller hooves.
Yeah. It's like, you know how when you're trying to like grow yeast and you have like the mother? The hump is the mother hoof.
I was gonna ask if we're okay, but if I have to ask, the answer is probably no.
Oh, the answer is no. Absolutely not.
It's like, if you have to ask... Like a vending machine.
I want to see a vending machine that dispenses other vending machines.
Ooh. I feel like there's probably at least one SCP that could do that.
Yeah. Then each of those vending machines dispense further vending machines.
Use a fortune pick to maximize your health intake. Spinning time.
Make sure you do it right so it doesn't release all the vending machines at once and make things harder for everyone.
Maybe the answer to the tube puzzle is hooves.
Yeah.
Do Minecraft horses even have hooves? I've never really bothered to look in that much detail. Maybe the hooves of the France were made along the way.
They have them where their teeth should be.
Update, horses do have hooves, we figured it out.
Hmm.
We have one pixel of hooves.
Which would be more upsetting? A horse that has hooves where its teeth should be, or a horse that has teeth where its hooves should be?
Ooh. I want to say a horse that has hooves where its teeth should be, because then, like, it's a surprise when they open their mouth.
Yeah.
Hey Venaria, I found another book report for you.
Staring at your mind. I will detain you no longer.
No creature, word of warning, but no creature imprisoned in that place should be trusted. Tread carefully, it'd be a shame to lose so valuable a business partner. Hello, I'm a goat.
Have you found? Yes, yes. Bonds weakening.
I'm sure that was a good idea.
A taste of freedom. A place to start. Fragments. To imbue such power, there is a price. The ashen remnants of souls lost within this tower. Yes. Ascend, mortal. Acquire what remains.
Legendary crafting. Also, I have some other things I can unlock from him right now.
Oh boy.
So this is how we make legendary items, legendary armor.
Are you going to make anything?
I'm not sure.
You already have your pole arm.
I don't have materials for it yet, so I have quests to go do with that. But I don't know whether or not it's required for progression, so I'll leave it for now.
Makes sense.
What bundle?
What?
Hmm.
Have you come to trade?
This is becoming someone who's on first, I believe.
That reminds me, apparently, like, you know about that whole thing? It's like buy a plot of land in Scotland and become a lord or lady in Scotland.
Yes.
Apparently my mom did that the other day.
And
I'm like, really?
Time ago, when it first started, fell for it, and I have not thought about it since, because I very quickly realized how stupid of a choice that was.
Brings grim tidings from Bastion. You are needed in Oribos at once.
Yeah, I was like, really? You shouldn't have done that.
I feel like that's not... I'm seeing that $50 again or whatever.
Oh, tabletop simulator. I think that's a thing, Wesley.
More Walker. Death is the ultimate.
Offer World of Warcraft.
Please do see me again.
Should it? No? Oh, I have to have... Yes, I need to have level 100 blacksmithing.
You have my undivided
I am not there yet.
This
Will be
offers
a while. So I'll do that off stream to level my blacksmithing, probably. Anyway, meanwhile we can continue the campaign without it, now that we're back in Oribos. There's a challenge for WoW to play through, like, where you can't do quests, like get quest rewards. You can only use gear you've made yourself. What's up?
No, I was just making...
Go in service.
No, well, that dressed is what's up, not you. What's up?
Oh. It was right after I said, and I was like, what?
The maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
None of this should have happened.
Perhaps the Winter Queen could.
Hi, Clea.
My Archon,
Maybe.
a living soul, seeks an audience.
A mortal.
A king. By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice. One who would give anything to serve his people. One whose heart is true.
I think this is later stuff.
He may approach.
No, this is... I'm not supposed to be here yet. Hold on. No, this is from later.
How did that happen?
Yeah, no, this is from the Okay, yeah, no, this is from no, this is the 9.1 campaign. This is the start of the Korthia quest line. That's not right. Oh god, do I have to actually make a legendary thing? before I can progress through my own Covenant campaign.
That would be not amazing game design, I don't think.
Yes. Let me check Wowhead real quick.
What do you seek?
Night Fae campaign. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go turn in this pig soul I got. Oh no! I just get a new. I just have to go back to Night Fae HQ. Okay.
How may I serve?
Okay, we figured it out. It depends. You have to buy the most recent expansion. There's a new expansion coming out soon, Dragonflight. And then there's also the cost of the sub. I don't remember offhand. I think the sub is like $12 to $15 a month or something, and then the new expansion is probably like 40 or 60. Although I think you could just get the sub without Dragonflight, and you'd be able to play up to Battle for Azeroth, and then Shadowlands as well once Dragonflight comes out.
Didn't they have like a fairly generous play free demo
Oh yeah, you
thing?
can also. That's right. You can also play free until level 20 as well. Which now that they've done the level squish is like way more. Plus now with Chromie Time you can do pretty much all of the old expansions as well. Although for new accounts you'll probably still only be locked to Battle for Azeroth because you need to hit level 50 at least once in order to unlock Chromie Time, and you can't do that as a new account, so as a trial account. If you are a returning player, you could do everything for up to then, but that was sort of coherent. Yeah.
What is that?
Okay, here we go. Yes, Sarah! Hello.
And the moonless night. Ardenweald in dreams.
Oh goody, Tyrande.
Has a part to play in defending Ardenweald and saving the souls of the Caldora. Be warned.
Be right back. Just gonna refill my water bottle.
Sure.
I pray that you and Chandris are able to free her from it.
You know, I don't think Tyrande ever did anything like that. The Night Warrior plotline basically got abandoned halfway through. Great. Like, becoming the Night Warrior was supposed to be this cool thing, and then Blizzard's like, oh no, revenge is bad suddenly. We need to make sure she stops being the Night Warrior. Like, what was the point of the plotline then? What do you want, sir?
You deserve only the best.
Acquire a reward from the Great Vault. I'm sure that will definitely
Come
happen,
back if you need aid.
considering that I need to do those things.
You have my undivided attention.
Oh, I don't want to do the Jailer's Gauntlet, though.
right.
So my dreams were true.
Adrestes, this cannot
My
be.
maid Doe is trapped in a realm of eternal torment. Tell me how to free her.
Nothing has ever escaped the Maw. At
Ever.
least until certain mortals like this one proved able to return from it.
For no adequately defined reason. They literally never said why we can do that, by the way. Just-
Hero, I am heartened to see an ally in this strange place. For Tyranda's sake, I ask for your aid.
I don't know what's in it for me.
The Sentinels stand ready. On your mark. Goddess watch over you. No matter what terrors the Maw may hold, we will overcome them. Lead on.
I'm not worried about the Maw, I'm worried about having to interact with Tyrande and her plotline. Tyrande has an adoptive daughter. She's a daughter figure. Not biological. That's why her name isn't Whisperwind. It's Feathermoon.
What do you see?
Nope, not Flight Path. Whee! The skull lands on her head in the maw and dies. End of series.
The Maw. It is even seeing this. I understand my mother's
I still don't know what Illidan sees in her.
that all those lost at Teldrassil are suffering this torment. Do not abandon her. We must not tarry here. The place shown in my vision.
Yeah, Chandris, I'm not listening. Forgive me if I kind of gloss through these quests. I'm super not invested in this story. There's a druid here.
Sorry, that took a little longer than expected. I also happened to accidentally knock over my entire pill planner.
This
Ooh.
path of carnage should lead us to her.
I like how Tyrande just inexplicably manifested a trail of corpses that didn't exist until starting at a particular location. And only
wish I
exists,
could do that.
And it only exists now that we're looking for her.
Spontaneous corpse trail generation.
I like, where did, like, how did you get such a dense trail of corpses? Like, there's not that many enemies around.
You have to import them.
Clearly.
Mindo!
Chandris, why have you come?
My dreams brought me here. We have come to save you.
Foolish child. There is no leaving this place. But you can join me here. Forever.
You will never find the Night Warrior.
Okay, great.
This realm seeks to deceive our senses. Keep moving. I see another trail of bodies up ahead.
I see a mining node up ahead. That's more important. If you're interested, we have a Palinauts community that you could join. Just, I can't even, okay, I can't do it because I'm not on Grotham. It's going to remove certain characters from the group, but I'll do that later.
This place. Do not abandon hope.
We're now on 70.
We must not I will provide cover from along the bank. Let us
You should have just kept it at 69.
Unfortunately, not an option.
So it's all downhill from here.
Mindo, leave them all with us before the Night Warrior's power overwhelms you.
No! Not while our people suffer inside Torghast! I will tear that tower apart, and the Banshee with it!
Boing.
Within the tower that Tyrande
Annoying
sits,
Swedish boing.
face them alone. I cannot afford to lose the
Sure.
I will meet you up ahead. Such
How else would you describe it?
No, that's fine.
Do not abandon hope. Follow me into Torghast. We must make haste.
You ready for more Torghast?
How can anyone survive this place?
How could we not be?
More fake Torghast?
More slain monsters. Tyrande must be up ahead.
I mean, really, has anyone ever truly seen Torghast?
I like how Tyranda's like, I can't leave until I get everyone out of Torghast, and then goes to Torghast. Like, girl, how come you weren't here until just now? Did we give you the idea somehow? Were you just gonna aimlessly kill things until someone reminded you that Torghast existed by asking you to leave them all?
You have a better plan?
Wait!
Just, she could have come here the whole time.
She will let nothing bar her path. We must fight our way through to her.
I don't know, she sure isn't acting like she needs our help. Given that she's already run on ahead.
Quickly, push forward. The Night Warrior's power threatens to consume her.
I like how the Night Warrior powers being like that was never established until this expansion. Meanwhile, when the Night Warrior thing was first introduced, players got to unlock Night Warrior appearances for customization. Like, do those players now need to go turn that off, or what? Are they gonna die?
Yes. Eventually. Oh, you mean in game?
Alley-oop.
Their torment ends now.
Oh, I have to poke these souls.
Bear these souls to safety.
Put them in my cool magic rock.
The fiend is vulnerable. Strike it down.
Do note that there are certain that you can't pick any race and class combo you like. They are limited combos.
Racist.
They've added more combos over the years, but you can't do any combo yet.
We must reach Tyrande
Ah, had to run backwards so she could run forwards on the set path. Of course. Wait, which way are we going? This way, this way, this way. Follow the bodies. Again, why were there so many suddenly? There's only a trail of corpses when we need to follow her. When we need to catch up to her. Otherwise, there's not nearly as many.
Imagine for a moment that we get to a point where there's something like, Google Glass, but less shitty, where you have, a heads-up display that you can use, in place of a phone or whatever, and you put something into Google Maps and you can customize what the the quest marker line in real life looks like, and you can set it to be a trail of corpses.
I'm pretty sure you can make a dwarf mage, Wesley. No, tortured amalgamation. Revenge is bad, remember?
The Banshee will know your suffering 100-fold.
I mean, sometimes I think, a little revenge is a treat.
You can't have revenge on the main villain for the first half of the expansion because we need the players to fight her.
Cease until every soul is saved, and the Banshee has answered for her crimes.
And I don't know, they couldn't have just, had her fight Sylvanas with us? That could have been an easy solution.
Then they would have had to balance it with the NPC on your side, and that's too much war. No. No, I had no idea. That does seem like that would be a better plan.
The one who put them here.
Please, Mawwalker, use the crystal you carry to save these Kaldori spirits.
Everyone get in the soul jar. It's going to be a little cramped.
At least these Kaldori souls were freed.
All 80 night elves have been saved. All 80 of them. There are no more. Don't worry about it.
There are 80 night elves left in the entire world.
I mean,
we're just here, right? Like not literally everywhere, right? Okay, something about your tone made it sound like, wait, what happened to the rest of them? Did I miss something?
The whole reason Toronto wants vengeance is because she burned down the Night Elf home tree capital place.
Right, but I thought that they survived. They just didn't have a home anymore. They didn't.
Oh no, a lot of them didn't make it out.
Okay.
There was a quest in the Battle for Azeroth pre-launch event where you had to go into Teldrassil to rescue people. I think you had the objective to save 1,000 Night Elves at a 5-minute timer. And you were lucky to get 50 before you ran out of time. And then you had to evacuate yourself. And everyone else burned.
That's
horrifying. Yes.
Yeah.
It was intentionally futile.
Bad.
Back to Ardenweald.
I will not give up on my mother. But for now, we must help these souls find peace. Come, let us leave this place.
But Chandras, nothing escapes the maw. Alright, time to escape the maw.
Yeah, that was long enough. Now we can do it.
Oh, and also the whole inciting incident with the burning of Teldrassil was only available for a few weeks for the pre-patch event, and then once the actual expansion Battle for Azeroth hit, they removed it.
Yeah, I feel like I remember hearing something about that.
It's like, you can't have a major plot inciting incident that sets the tone for the next 2 expansions in the game for like 2 weeks, and then remove it with no way for new players to experience it other than being vaguely told about it.
Yeah.
Like, FOMO.
Destiny did a thing where it eventually, to cut down on the download size, and because they were adding so much news story stuff, actually did like patch out the entire base game story mode. And people like it. My understanding is people who have picked up the game since that happened have not like been like feeling like it's been missing, because enough has happened since then that there, you get dropped in media res anyway. But it is like, wow, that was a weird decision. I don't think you should have done that.
Yeah. Oh, and for bonus points, the current new player experience has players play through Battle for Azeroth, aka the thing that follows immediately after the tree being burned down, that was sparked by the tree being burned down, which you now can't play.
Yeah, it's it's weird. Like, I guess on one hand, I understand that the nature of an MMO is certain things are going to need to be cut, but
that one was clearly meant as FOMO.
Yeah, that should have stuck. Yeah, well, yeah, right. Wasn't there this?
They put a unique mount at the end of it for doing it, so therefore it had to be limited time.
What's the tweet that's like, no one who got the Scarab Lord achievement should be allowed to be a game designer? Because there was a while. This is like separate from the patching up the base expansion story. Destiny did have this phase where it was like really heavy on like weirdly FOMO stuff, and someone tweeted out like, "So the lead dev is the Scarab Lord, isn't he?" Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Now I am bound to this realm, says Ysera. Next expansion, Ysera returns to Azeroth.
Well,
It's fine, we trade her for Malfurion, who we don't like anyway.
Without how many people leave the team, I imagine maybe no one told the writers of the next expansion that.
There's so funny, like, Legion, Ysera dies. Shadowlands, Ysera is brought back but bound to the afterlife. Dragonfly, Ysera's just back. Don't worry about it. But we have to make a trade apparently, so we give Tyranda's husband to Ardenweald instead. Okay.
Alright.
Because obviously a single night elf druid is equivalent to a dragon.
The cycle must be preserved.
All right, everyone, get out of the rock.
To these souls, they will find peace and respite here. Some may even choose new forms and help tend the groves.
Ysera, I failed to bring Tyrande back. She still wanders the Maw, fueled by the Night Warrior's might, and driven by a relentless rage.
I am bound to both the dream. Do not let your heart be troubled, young one. There may be another who can aid us in saving Tyrande Whisper.
I don't care about Tyrande. Alright, time to continue the campaign with a completely different plotline.
What you be asking of death?
Don't you worry. One, use the Death Stone to come see me on the other side. Don't be a scared little thing now.
I like how he acts like we know him, even though he was a Horde-aligned character in PFA. It's like, hey, remember when we met? No. Anyway, here's the Troll God of Death. Sorry, the Troll Loa of Death. Hi, Bonsamdi.
Hello.
Oh, surely there's at least a couple people who really have played since launch.
Probably some, yeah.
Like it's not going to be a lot.
But yeah, welcome to the other side.
This seems potentially racist.
The trolls are just kind of like that, unfortunately. They've been like that since at least Warcraft 3. And it's too on brand. They're too branded for this to change them now, apparently.
It's not a great excuse.
No, but it's Blizzard, so
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's the. All right, not Baron Samity. What do you want?
Yeah, right. Some of the low have been sleeping in Ardenweald have gone missing.
See something strange going on with the spirits of the Lua resting up in Ardenweald.
Once Samdu was a fun character in BFA because if you because he as the Loa of Death he would replace the standard spirit healers whenever you died in Zandalar. And usually he would make fun of you every time you died. Oftentimes with specific things to say about your class as well.
So, what brings you?
It'd be like, oh, you're back again, huh? And he's like, this spectral form of him just fishing in a nearby river. Like, oh, you died again. And I thought that was funny. I do love the little star trees spiral things though. They're pretty. The art team and as always carrying the expansions.
Yeah. No, they're very nice.
Mom thought me resting real peaceful now. Shame about that nasty business back in Zuldrak.
Back in Wrath of the Lich King expansion. I can't cut you out of your thing because I'm not on the quest to do that. Sorry, I don't have a knife.
Taranja be worshipped by the Drakari till they turn on him. It'd be mighty hard to find loyal followers these days. Look like you're dead. Yeah. Dambala's wild seed be missing. Only the husk left behind. We best be hurrying and find old Hakar. What? Hakar be missing too?
I'm sure the fact of the spirit of the blood god being missing isn't something to be concerned about.
I have been feeling a little anemic.
Go dip yourself in the ocean real quick.
See you soon.
Who would steal a ghost?
I'm of course immediately imagining you wouldn't download
You wouldn't download a ghost.
Yeah. Like, the fuck I wouldn't. What kind of idiot would not download a car?
Is that not what 3D printing is eventually? I mean, if you could 3D print all the pieces needed to make a car, would that not be downloading a car?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, 3D printers really weren't a thing when they made that ad, but beside the point. Wasn't there a study that showed that like, even at the time, those ads actually caused, like, an uptick in piracy because it made it sound, like, cooler than it was, really?
I don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what the Dare campaigns did.
Okay, no, I may be thinking of the Dare campaign, or maybe it was, like, talking about how both of those did it, because, like, they were sort of from a similar school of capitalist propaganda. The Dare at least had a point that you should not do drugs, but it was sort of like the same.
The Dare campaign also told everyone about all the ways to get drugs so that they could not do them.
Yeah, exactly. Very you know, whatever you do, don't
take these exact steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's the same sort of thing people do on Tumblr now to sarcastically tell people not to do something while giving a guide on how to do it.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah, or like
make sure you don't go to this website to download your free textbooks for all kinds of different authors and fields.
The thing that I always remember was in The Incredibles, he, like, when he's working at his office job, and he tells the old lady, like, listen, I can't help you with this, and I definitely can't tell you to go, you know, to this department or whatever.
And ask for such and such and such,
yeah, exactly, yeah. It's like,
I would tell you to do such and such if I could, but I really can't, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's always a fun trope.
Yeah.
I don't actually know whether I think it's funnier when it very clearly is someone like, I am telling you to do this and mailing it as I can't tell you that. Or if it's funnier when, as with stuff like Dare, it's like, no, I actually really don't want you to do this, but I'm being so specific about it that now you're going to do it. It's like...
I think it was even in Dragon Ball Abridged, near the start of the Namek arc, with just Goku in the spaceship. Now remember, don't push the start button. The start button. Don't push the start button. Now I'll be right back. Followed almost immediately by, I wonder what this button does. Pushes the start button.
What's the Terry Pratchett quote about if you had a button and a sign that said, you know, do not press, you know, ends the world, the paint wouldn't have had time to dry.
Right, yeah.
What is the meaning of this intrusion, mortal? Our sacred charge remains unchanged.
Now, Your Majesty, I come in peace. We need to be working together if we're gonna beat old Wazala.
The quarrels of Loa are no concern of mine. Do not involve Ardenweald in your petty squabbles.
No, you got this all wrong. The boss be stealing the lure from their sleep, and... You be running to the Winter Queen with your problems now. Some lure dead you be, one Sunday, making deals instead of taking what be yours. Your time be done, your power be spent, and now Masala be coming to collect.
Let's see, the plots we've had so far are regarding Tyrande and the Night Elves, which is very much an alliance-centric storyline. And now we've got Bwansamdi and stuff, which is very much a Horde-centric storyline.
dry groves.
Another
Then
day?
seek out
Looks
Lady
like I'm gonna have to
Blueberry
settle the
at
score
Yellow.
with the boss. Once and for all.
I will protect you.
Was I'll be mighty strong and plenty mean, but don't you worry about
Where did
old
chat
one
go?
someday.
Oh, there's chat.
This old Loa still got a few tricks up his sleeve.
Let's see, looking through the list of chapters, we got Da Boss, which is this one, then Night Warrior's Curse, back to Night Elves, Drust to Drust, so then we're doing Drust things, Horned Hunter, which I think is more Drust, then Deal for Loa, which is back to Bwansamdi, and then Drust and Ashes, which is back to Drust again.
A very focused and cohesive narrative.
Yeah, like, can we not just focus on one plot thread at a time, please?
Absolutely.
Like, what is
not.
the Night Fae even about? Half this stuff doesn't even have anything to do with the Night Fae. Like, the Bwansamdi and Tyrande stuff is just other plot lines that the Night Fae have to deal with for no reason.
Or the other, because you could like have the other factions instead of the Night Fae. Are their plots also?
No, their
Comically-
plots are also are much more focused.
Hmm.
It's just kind of the Night Fae that's all over the place.
Oh, that's stuck.
Yeah. Look at this guy's name. Tindy Needle.
Teeny Needle.
Tindy Needle.
Teeny Needle.
Has no place in these woods. Ardenweald calls the hunt.
Tindy Needle. Don't press the start button.
Press the start button. Got it.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole little star cloud serpent.
Foes of the forest beware.
Just types that into the box. It's this. It is believed that astral cloud serpents possess answers to some of life's greatest mysteries. Pity they can't talk. I don't think I'd seen that before.
We should teach them sign language,
Maybe.
like we did with the gorillas.
Mm. Or like that one video with the person who supposedly taught their cat how to press buttons with words on
Oh,
them.
I've seen a bunch. I've seen a bunch of those. That's very it's pretty clear that yeah, that works. It's just it's a lot more work than I'm ever gonna do.
Yeah.
To train a cat.
I know my dad was skeptical of those, and I'm like, what? Do you think the cat's a paid actor?
It's not like they're always so coherent with it that it's like no, there's no way. This is like they'll like press ones that are not.
I just specifically love the one that just food, and then the owner's like food later.
Drugs.
Mad.
Mad. Want catnip.
Catnip. Want.
Want. Mad. That's the one I always think of.
Yeah, I saw a parody of that with an AU, like a modern setting AU for Team Rocket Pokemon, where Meowth communicates with those buttons. Like at one point, an FU button gets added, and James is like, Jesse, I didn't do that. It's in your voice.
What can I do for you? Wazana's forces are more entrenched than we expected. Help the Wild Hunt clear them out.
Look, some reused assets. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, how many of these are there? Jesus!
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. More than 4.
Checks out. They seem to all get one shot, but my goodness. Why is there so many? I don't think they even count for the quest. I should mention that for that AU as well, like, Meowth is still visibly a Meowth. He is still bipedal. He's not like a regular cat or anything.
Yeah. And presumably can talk perfectly well, but this is funnier.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just like AU where he still understands human language like most Pokemon seem to be able to do. He just can't say it. He can only say Meowth. So he presses buttons.
This is the comic where it's like, oh, that Meowth can talk. No, I actually can't talk. It's just that I have everything I say is actually just my name, which through an incredible fluke of chance and mutation happens to sound exactly like utterances which are appropriate for the situation or whatever. Like,
I remember seeing a comic about how the Pokemon Poipole was named.
Yeah.
Where it's just where Meowth's like, so what's your name? And then Poipole just emits like this series of binary or something, and Meowth's like, well, you're Poipole, so.
Looks like Dumbledore's here as well. Fighting Alola won't be easy, but I've got just the trick to help.
It's just Meowth saying purple.
that is how he would say purple.
Yeah, he Poipole.
Quickly, cast the spell.
Remember, to fight a god, become a deer.
Oh yeah.
Normal. This makes sense.
You're a special.
It makes as much sense as anything else.
Good hunting. The Queen will be pleased to know we've driven Musala out of Ardenweald.
Back we go. I mean, as far as Pokemon that don't make sense in medieval settings, I want to mention that just the new legendaries in Scarlet and Violet are both motorcycles, except one of them represents the past and one represents the future. The past one is still a motorcycle.
Yeah, although
it doesn't use the wheels.
Yeah.
But they're there.
Well, that's how. I'm trying to think of like a somewhat believable explanation for that beyond, obviously time travel existing. So, what was it? There was an old cartoon. It was like Cow and Chicken, where there was a thing where someone went back and like dropped a nickel in the primordial ooze, and when they came back to the present, everyone had nickels for heads.
Obviously,
right?
Sure.
It was like there were a couple like gags of them like going back and trying to fix things, and I forget, but
making it worse.
And it like ends with this like, oh, everything looks normal except like some, it's like that The Simpsons thing where it's like everything is the same but they have forked tongues or whatever. But it's like someone just like at some point left a motorcycle in the past, and
I think there was once an episode of Stargate SG-1 or a couple of multi-parter where they had something like that as well, where they had to change timelines, and SG-1 gets trapped in the past, so alternate timeline present SG-1 has to go back and save their counterparts and whatnot. And then in the final timeline, where there's a third new timeline, finds about both of the previous two SG-1s, and the mission's already done, so they don't have to do anything. And then they realize, wait a minute, the past O'Neill mentions that his pool doesn't have any fish in it, and they're currently fishing at O'Neill's place because there's fish in his pool. Close enough.
Yeah, it was that kind of.
Is there something you wish to add?
Anyway, here's Theranax. He's a past Night Warrior. And here's his husband. Gay
Excellent.
rights.
Greetings.
Are you gonna say anything? Is this gonna bug out because there's a world quest here?
For your sake, as well as hers.
Theonax, wait.
Okay, cool. It bugged. Whatever.
Well,
Hero of
that sucks.
protect that which
I mean, it's still the Night Warrior quest line, so I'm not super invested in it, but
please forgive.
Oh, the other argument is just that it's. I feel like because there's always been the argument for,
Dear price.
Do the unknown look like a writing system, or was humanity's writing system based on the unknown? And so motorcycles may have been invented based on Koraidon, yeah.
oh, check this out. Quest clearly not meant with flying in mind.
Well, what? They not supposed to be able to fly?
I'm sure she can do that normally.
Just I mean, it doesn't look that out of place. That's how how it looks when people fly sometimes in anime.
Repel the invaders.
Good luck with the storm.
Ooh, yikes.
Desperate to save him, we attempted to lessen his burden by sharing Elune's power between us. But our gambit failed. We both lost our lives, and he has blamed himself ever since.
Anyway, apparently that other guy was a Night Warrior. These two shared their powers, and they both died. Also, I should mention these guys are technically aliens.
I mean,
They're
so
not,
are you.
They're not from... Well, I mean, yes, true. But, no, they're not from Azeroth. They
Yeah.
are from another planet that worships Elune, which is something that we're never going to look into or analyze what that's all about.
Well, either we'll never look into it, or it'll be in like 20 years when someone who's like a teenager now and is like, hey, how come they're not gets around to getting a job writing for it?
We're also not going to look too deeply into the fact that the Winter Queen, who we later establish is, come on, model, is a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And here's her prototype body.
Yeah.
She refers to Elune as her sister, and we never elaborate on what that means either.
The Weald owes you a great debt.
Yeah.
Who knows what that's all about? Does this mean
I feel
Elune is a robot?
There's a very solid joke about how the shame we're never getting Eternals 2. But I can't think of it.
I mean, the Winter Queen is an eternal one.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently that guy, despite being a Spriggan here, doesn't count as a Spriggan to be killed. Okay. Oh yeah, the Winter Queen, the Archon, the Primus, and Denathrius are all robots.
The Weald owes you a great debt.
When was that established out of curiosity? Like, when did that lore...
9.2. The last patch of the expansion.
Okay.
We found basically
so very recently.
The place where the first
Okay.
ones basically built all of the afterlives. And made prototypes of animals and stuff. There's like robot chickens, robot birds, robot wolves.
Sure. Makes
Basically
sense.
the beta version of life. And yeah, here's the old prototype bodies for the four guys. Also, here's what the Primus looks like. I'm sure that his resemblance to any other characters we may have encountered today are strictly coincidental.
Yeah.
Hero of Azeroth. I would let us head for the
My
Order.
apologies, Chandris. It is not easy for me to speak of the Night Warrior.
More Spriggans? We're being ambushed.
Spin!
I feel like God's actually a robot is something of a natural, like, extension of the cultural consciousness idea that the universe is a simulation. Right? Like, it's sort of the same thing of, like, there is this, you know, we're going to reduce literally everything to our level of understanding of technology.
Katari, no! What have you done to him?
God is a robot and the universe is its software.
Oh, I'm sorry, was he supposed to have done something to the guy that's not here?
Is there something you wish to ask?
Okay.
Nothing.
So let me just use that. We now have companions for a thing we haven't enabled yet.
We all do what we could are. I cannot lose him again.
So yeah, the guy who is not currently here got cursed. Great.
This curse, Theonax. I swear by the light of Elune.
I guess really we actually owe it to Bionicle, don't we?
We owe a lot to Bionicle.
Yeah.
Not even for any particular reason other than Bionicle is good.
Yep.
I can't
I
believe
agree.
that in the reboot they changed Lewa to Toa of Jungle for no reason. Like, Earth and Stone, I guess, aren't similar enough that we have to change one of those, but we have to change the Air one to Jungle because...
They're trying to... It's part of a conspiracy. They want people to forget air exists.
So nice to see you.
I mean, have you ever seen air? Come on. It's a myth.
Well, what do we have here?
Okay, I guess dialogue is just busted for this questline.
Strange. That's always works in the favor.
Anyway, apparently we were going to try and break the curse with True Love's Kiss, but it didn't work.
Oh.
The Court of Night maintains an archive of curses such as this?
Of course. Counter curses are complicated. We have to know what we're dealing with first.
Look at our new boots. New boot goofing.
Hooves.
Also
There you go.
gloves, yeah. Hooves! They were with us all along.
Yeah.
I just keep looking over it. She's a robot.
I feel like the other thing though is like our definition of what a robot is increasingly has expanded to the point that at a certain point you could probably argue any complex
Also,
mechanism is a robot.
apparently their quote cosmic spirits existed separately, and these are just their host bodies or robots. So they're not AIs; they just have robot bodies.
Like, remember when we built those robots out of dead spiders?
Hmm.
As the queen wills it.
I smell ore.
Or what was the other like? Oh, robotics has gone far further than I think any science fiction writers really put too much thought into for the most part. Was the
I've made a robot that screams.
well, there were like self replicating ones made out of some biological material somehow. I forget how it worked. It was like, is that a robot? Well, yeah, we took a bunch of parts and put it together. Oh. I'm
just thinking of that one idle game that's the Paperclips one. Have you played that? Infinite Paperclips?
Yeah. Eventually everything becomes paperclips.
Yes.
Because that's the joke. Give us, we want you to optimize the process of making paperclips. Cool. You gonna program any safeguards into that? Nope. Could possibly go wrong.
It's just that moment when you finally go up to percentage of universe that is paperclips. 1%. 2%. Uh-oh.
Yeah. 1% would already be very uh-oh.
Yeah, but then you get to 2% and you're like,
Yeah.
oh no.
And then, if I recall correctly, once you get to 100%, then you start turning other universes into paperclips.
I don't think so. I think once you get to 100%, you just disassemble all of your paperclip production facilities because there's nothing left to do with them anymore. Maybe you turn your production facilities into paperclips as well.
You definitely do. What was?
I know that in Cookie Clicker, you start to exploit other universes for cookies.
Yeah. For some reason I thought also in the paperclip one you did, but maybe not. I don't have the patience to play through it again to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that long, but still. It is still a time commitment of a variety.
Those little miscreants are nothing but trouble. Well done.
Free World Quest, Pog. You know, I'm not sure that they adequately explained why the Drust are invading Ardenfield anyway. There's like a sort of reason, but also kind of not. I have to go to that bit over there, don't I? Oh yeah, there we go.
The game ends if the player reaches 30 septendexillion paperclips, finishing the conversion of all matter in the universe into paperclips. There is also an option that allows the player to start the game from another universe with an additional universe counter at the top of the screen.
Ah. Just play again? I just am imagining people with the capacity to explore their multiverse just coming across a universe that's entirely composed of paper clips. Going, huh, I wonder what happened here.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then somehow through some process which they can't like really get a hold on, like how suddenly more paper clips start showing up, and they're like, but it was just paper clips. We didn't like see anything making more or anything. Why suddenly is our universe also becoming paper clips?
Straza must have kept some memento of Corialstra's, a token of lost love. I only hope she is willing to part with it.
Oh yeah, one of the things we need to break this curse is a token of lost love. So we're going to go talk to Alex Straza and find a token of lost love for her consort, Crassus, or Corialstra's, as his dragon name is. This one I like. this quest I'd like. And you will see why maybe in a bit once I actually make it out there.
Oh yeah, okay. I found the dialogue box. It's once you convert the entire universe, you are given the option from some metaphysical force within yourself to either end the game or be exiled to another universe, which then prompts you to start converting the next universe into paperclips.
Convert the multiverse. Imagine if you could just continue going exponentially and converting the multiverse into paperclips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, Crassus has in Crassus Landing. He was part of the council in Dalaran at one point, I believe, in his human guise, named Crassus. Let's see. I'm going to Twilight Highlands, so I'm going to the Earth Shrine. Blizzard is like, yes, let's consolidate all the portals into a single location. Also, we're not going to get rid of the other portal hub that already exists in the city. We're not going to consolidate that one for no reason.
I mean, that's just realistic civil planning.
And, like, there were several portals in several cities that led to the capital city in Pandaria, but because there was one portal over here that led to the first zone in Pandaria, they decided to keep only that one and none of the ones that led to the city. Which was... the city was conveniently located in the middle of the zone. The portal there is not. So therefore they kept that one for no reason. I'm not salty, you're salty.
These goldfish are salty.
Oh, you're still eating your goldfish. Chench.
I stopped for a while.
I finished my Pop-Tarts before stream started.
Well, I figure it doesn't appear that my chewing is getting picked up by the mic, so I figure it doesn't matter.
Doesn't seem so.
No.
You're salty about tubes. Anyway, Twilight Highlands, a zone we never went to as a Scala because it was basically level cap Cataclysm. Essential. It was
what?
It was 84 to 85, and the level cap was 85. So.
Twilight Highlands is my favorite Scottish pony.
I mean, this zone is full of dwarves that are vaguely Scottish, so... I think there are horses around, too. These trees are red. That's how you know this is a place for red dragons. Hi, Alex Straza.
It must suck to be a colorblind dragon.
Yeah. I mean,
Never
the red
know.
and the green dragon.
Never knowing which.
Yeah, I mean, the red and green dragonflights are kind of linked because Alex Straza and Ysera are sisters.
Yeah.
The balance must be
Hi.
maintained.
Oh, please don't tell me I don't get to hear the dialogue for this. Oh no, Blizzard.
From pain we draw strength.
No, Blizzard, this one's so heartfelt though.
Aw.
No.
She gave me a gift
Ah, you jumped in the middle! No!
Take it with you and save your friend. And Champion, please tell my sister that she is sorely missed, fondly remembered, and deeply loved.
Okay, the missing dialogue is...
Awkward glitching.
Yeah, the dialogue at the beginning. Ysera, it brightens my heart to know her death was not an end, but a new beginning. Alexstrasza takes a moment. We were sisters hatched from the same clutch, inseparable since birth. Ysera speaks of Corylistraz, whom I loved dearly, but I loved none more than her. And then she gave me a gift when we first became aspects. Take it with you and save your friend. And please tell my sister she is sorely missed, fondly remembered, and deeply loved.
Aww.
And now I don't have a portal back to the Shadowlands, and we have to go the long way.
Well.
What? Let me use the Flame Master, bro! Why not? He reacted to it. I slapped him and he went, ow. That's so good. Okay, I'll take the long way.
Always does. Always gotta be a challenge. Should be... To be most true to your challenge, you should get there by pole vaulting using your pole arm. Oh hey, a paperclip.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! The Kill Bill sirens start going off. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing.
That's like the same vibes as all those security guards. Like, did you hear something? Must have been the wind.
Yeah, there is in Magic, in I think it was in Scars of Mirror. It was when the Phyrexia first showed back up after a long time of people thinking it had been gone and started converting Mirrodin into new Phyrexia before it got bad. There was a scene. It was here's Mirrodin where it's slightly off, and there's a card of a person looking at a little streak of oil in the river and being oh, more of that weird oil. I'm sure it's nothing. And that has just become a huge meme because it's that is the most comically oh, that's not
genre
nothing.
blind.
You should, yeah, it's just amazingly genre blind.
I haven't done the quests here, so this portal back to Stormwind doesn't exist yet.
Ooh. So now it's an even...
So the Flight Master's not here in this phase either. So I have to go find a different Flight Master and fly to Stormwind.
Right.
So if anyone needs to take a break, get a snack, now's a good time. Because it's going to be a bit. Thanks, Blizzard.
You got my attention.
You just hear a very distant, very tone deaf, "You're welcome."
I'm going to grab the invite link for the Palinauts community. I believe in game. If you go to Kill the Communities, you can hit join, and you should be able to paste that link in here. I could we get to fly right back over here again for the flight master we couldn't use. Because it's still in the we've showed up and it's under attack phase.
Leo, you've successfully captured the thunder in your art. Good job.
Imprisoned.
Yeah.
I like how the Griffin had to fly all the way over there from over here, do a U-turn, and is now pretty much right back where we started. Like, this is where we started. Here at Firebeard's Patrol. We flew over to High Bank, did a loop, and we came back over Firebeard's Patrol again. Why is the flight path like that? Why was that necessary?
I don't know, does it spell anything out of skywriting?
At least we get a scenic route, I guess. Sorry, that probably wasn't coherent. I said, at least we get a scenic route, I guess. Now all these trees have been debarked.
Oh no.
But like, super inconsistently. Why'd they be debarked at the top, but not the bottom? Oh. Velbar. Gurubashi, huh? You went on a PvP server, okay.
Sometimes you just want to hit someone.
I mean, bold choice when you can only hit level 20, but... Ah, Lochmodan. Good old Felsamar. Love that the dwarves just put a giant keg on the roof of the inn. They know what's up. They're like, we know what we like. So we're just gonna make sure we have a lot of it.
Welcome to... Just to say, like, welcome to the inn. We have food, board, and then in letters 200 times larger than any of the rest of the text, drink.
I'm actually gonna see if I can land the Griffin and stop at Iron Forge and then take the tram, because I think that's faster than taking the flight point all the way to Stormwind. But I don't know what the next stop is going to be. I hit the request stop button like I'm on a bus, but I don't know where it'll put me. I'm beginning to think that it may not have the desired effect.
Wow.
Because we are leaving the snowy lands of Dunmoreau.
You know, those request stop buttons aren't actually connected to anything, right? It's just to make you feel like.
Well, it's just that the bus is on a different route than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's like the close door button on the elevator. The button for the crosswalk.
I guess we couldn't stop at that flight master because I don't have it unlocked or something, so...
I think it will be very funny if this somehow winds up being a complete circuit.
We get back to Twilight Highlands to circle
Yeah.
around. You good?
Yeah, my sleeve's been a little messed up lately. I've been trying to get it actually more to like something that will work with my schedule.
I was just wondering what that sound was.
It was a yawn.
Oh, yeah, it didn't sound like one.
Oh.
Didn't pick up properly, I guess.
Weird. No, that was a yawn.
Sounded like... I think I heard like half of it, so it was like a
Oh.
honk.
No. As far as I could tell, it was a normal yawn. But I assume the microphone did something weird.
Microphone did something weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's Stormwind anyway.
Are you gonna be able to get off though?
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Oh no, we're gonna hit the wall.
That's one way to stop.
Thunk. So something fun about this area here. I don't know if it's still true. It probably is, given the size of this room. Wouldn't fit in the tower. I mean, I don't think it fit back then, but definitely didn't now. This room, at least, used to actually be underneath the city. So if you could glitch under the map, you could just see a big hole in the ground with this room in it. And I had done so several times. It was fun. There was a spot you could glitch through the wall in Stormwind and fall under the map.
Neat.
And then you could jump out of the walls in the docks and scare people. So that's just back there, and that's... Okay, the other quests are back in Ardenweald.
I think it would be funny if there was a space that was like only accessible by getting through the ground, that was like set up as though it were like, this is a small society made up of everything that's clipped through the ground.
We clipped to the ground and inexplicably Sheogorath is there. Just with no explanation, no... It's not even addressed, he's just, hello, would you like some cheese? Huh.
I would like some.
I would like some cheese, Sheogorath Elder Scrolls. Why are you here? Don't worry about it.
I wasn't planning on it. I feel like I've got enough other things to worry about to... Whee!
Whee! Well, time to go give Ysera the thing from Alexstrasza.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure won't bug out.
Now that you say that. What is the funniest way this could bug out?
Her model is inexplicably replaced with the jailer.
It loads you back to where you got it from and finally plays the audio from...
It lures me back in Twilight Highlands, yeah.
Yeah. Like, alright, back at Twilight Highlands, we're gonna get that audio that we were supposed to get before.
And now I have to go all the way back again.
Yeah. There's no taxi.
But the quest is now complete, so I can't get the rest of the dialogue.
Exactly.
Hey, Sarah.
My long slumber has ended.
This figurine. I've not seen it since. I gave this to her when we first became aspects. Our duties would draw us apart for the first time in our lives. To know that she's kept it all this time. We'll put it to good use.
The cycle must be through.
Hey, Sarah. Hello, random fairy. I need a secret never spoken.
My book of secrets holds exactly what you seek. You just need to retrieve it for me.
Slide whistling at every opportunity.
Mm.
Why are there's just like stars just like around?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these are from my mount, but not all of them. My mount,
Stars are just around them.
my mount does kind of also emit stars.
They're just generally not, you know, right here.
It's down. Oh boy, I'm sure glad they marked the cave entrance on the map, right, guys? Right, guys?
Right? Yeah. Hey, Dave, you remember to mark the cave entrance on the map, right? Oh. Hang on. I'll go do that. No, it's too late. We already...
We already shipped it. Oh well, I guess it doesn't matter.
But...
Oh,
Hey guys, what about patch? Shut up. We're off work. They can find the cave themselves. Well, that's not
I
very...
remember one time they introduced a ignore quests feature where you could basically just hide quests you weren't gonna do, and then the next major patch came along and the feature was just gone with no explanation, and it never came back.
That sucks.
I heard the theory was that they were probably getting way too many support tickets from people being like, I can't find X quest because they ignored it.
Yeah. The only other thing I can... Did they announce it as a feature when it happened, or did it just kind of show up?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. It was long enough ago.
If it just showed up, I almost would be willing to believe, like, oh, was that a developer tool that they did not mean to make public in the first place?
I don't know. I mean, there was a
pretty
clearly
believable.
indicated button for it. I think there was a pop-up. And it's like, you could still get the quest by talking to the NPCs. The quest didn't go away. They just stopped having the exclamation mark above their head.
Right.
And you could still track, like, you know how here it says trivial quests under tracking for, like, low-level quests and stuff?
Yeah.
That, for the duration of that patch, that was hidden quests tracking, which would be the low-level quests plus ones you've actively hidden.
Still kind of sounds to me like maybe there was a developer tool that they had not meant to everyone.
I don't know, but it was nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was convenient. For
You
stuff
still,
like
like,
PvP quests that's never going to do.
To be clear, yeah, that's an incredible feature and they should not have gotten rid of it. My point was not to say that no, they should have left that.
Yeah. I think my dad also had the theory that it was based on like branch development stuff. Like they put it in at some point, but then the branch that was being actively developed didn't have the feature, and then they just forgot to re-add it.
That's feasible. Think of how long we went without day and night in Pokemon.
Think about how long we went without seasons in Pokemon.
Well, did they take seasons away and then bring them back, or did it just take them longer to give a season? I don't remember now.
Well, they were in Gen 5, and then I think they haven't showed up again until it looks like Scarlet and Violet. So. Because I know people saw like Winter Form Sawsbuck in the trailers. So.
Yeah, I thought the seasons were in the other games, just that they did not have nearly as prominent an effect on like the environment.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't remember, because I know that in Gen 5 it would actually, pop up season spring, season fall.
Right.
Shrug. Hey, this isn't even for the quest. What? Or it is, but also not? I don't understand what's happening here. Get killed. I don't know. You'd have to look it up. Why don't you tell me how dealing works in Gen 6 and 7? And 8. Well, probably not 8, because I doubt because they probably didn't include it in the Pokédex in Gen 8.
I think that's right. I don't remember running into one.
They didn't include a lot of Pokemon in Gen 8. I'd have an orb.
They included more than I think people give them credit for, frankly. But yeah, there are definitely.
I think they also started removing moves in Gen 8 as well.
Oh, that's probably true.
Like, you could transfer Pokemon forward from old generations, and various moves would just have the description, "This move is no longer usable. Make sure to forget it in the move tutor," or whatever. Move deleter.
Well, I don't remember if it was that the moves were completely gone, or if it was that some Pokemon had different movesets.
No, some moves are completely gone.
I believe it.
Like, if you transferred a Pokemon forward with that move, it would just... the move would not be usable, and the description would say to delete it. Renown 78 out of 80. We're almost there. Perform the counter curse.
Okay, everyone, let's break this curse.
This whole bit seems kind of like padding, if you ask me. Okay, we got the... Alright, the Night Warrior guy finally was convinced to help us. Oh no, his husband got cursed by a random Spriggan. We have to break the curse before we can do anything else.
And then in Snap, you could run into the different versions randomly. And I vaguely recall it showing up in Arceus, but I don't think that's right. I think I'm imagining that.
And you, Kadarin, you are fortunate to have each other.
I don't think New Snap really counts. Because it kind of did its own thing.
No, I agree. I guess it's a prominent, like, here is an actual game that is acknowledging the existence of the other forms beyond that, you can bring it forward if you have it from the thing. Like, not like, no, what are you talking about? This is what it normally looks like.
Okay, well, I don't know where the next quest is, so I'm just going to do, unlock the
Okay,
things
yeah,
that
that's what I
unlocked.
thought I was probably imagining. Because it would have been competition with
So you guys
What's
may
his
remember
name?
that there was stuff to upgrade here and unlock, and I've done that. So
Neat.
let's unlock things.
Cool. Always fun to unlock things.
Yeah. Actually, before we get to the Queen's Conservatory, we also got the Anima Conductor here that I kind of glossed over last time. As there's basically places we can channel Anima to daily to unlock things, like over here it unlocks a special rare, over here it unlocks a special treasure, that unlocks world quest, daily quest, buffs, special enemy.
Unless it's a fancier pole armor. I don't
Yeah.
see the point.
But yeah, I've basically been doing that, and eventually, as you do it enough times, you can make the daily streams reinforced, aka permanent, and I kept that up and reinforced one of them. But not a whole lot to talk about there, so let's carry on. The Queen's Conservatory. Of the various Covenant features, this one is unique to the Night Fae. The first three are Transport Network, Mission Table, and Anima Conductor, and all four Covenants have some variant of that. They also all have a unique one as their fourth slot that goes 5 upgrade tiers instead of 3, and this is the unique one for Night Fae.
All things in balance.
Queen's Conspiracy would be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, we have to go big.
Imagine just like a conspiracy theory, like, you know, board with Red String that claims to have proven that she's a robot.
Let's see, and over here as well is the.
What did happen to Skidoo and Go-Go? They just like, I don't remember what the special thing about them was that like you could ride one, but that's just, we've had different Pokemon for that anyway.
Yeah.
How are they any more
Looking at the wind here.
screwed over than Thoughtbuck?
Tutorial. Go on mission. Drag any companion into available slot. I think this level 1 mission is now maybe a bit... I'm
sure they'll show up again eventually.
I think we're going to... So basically the idea for these mission table missions is that they're auto-battlers, because Blizzard's like, oh, auto-battlers have been getting popular, now we can do that too.
Yeah, that's
but also time-gate it. Because everyone
I
loves...
thought they also came out with an auto-battler separate from...
They might have, I'm not sure. But they did it here too. Except no one actually cares about it, and everyone just has an algorithm add-on calculate the best positioning. So like it can be like, you know, bam, bam.
Yeah, Pokemon not showing up in every gen is one of those things where it's like, well, theoretically, look, the company's big enough. They probably could have hired enough to get it done. But at the same time, as there's more, maybe at a certain point we should be like, okay, hey, we've reached 1,000 Pokemon. We're not gonna introduce more every time. Maybe we can have some forms. I think people would be much more okay with, you know, a form of a Pokemon only showing up in the game that's set in the region compared to the Pokemon just being completely gone. And then just do a bunch of new forms for each game, but have all the Pokemon.
We unlocked some more guys, by the way. In case you didn't notice. We got like 8 more guys.
Excellent.
Because of our high renown level.
It's enough to make a basketball team. I don't even know if that's true, but probably not true.
There's no rule that says Night Fae can't play basketball.
I would assume not.
But like, man, the Tiernan would be so good at basketball with their size, their height.
I feel like you would presumably have the hoop also be taller though.
That's not regulation. Okay, while we're waiting for that to happen. Hi, here's the next chapter. Arelon, that guy who sacrificed Ursoc's soul, has gone missing. Oh no.
Find them, bring them home.
Come on, tutorial. I want to see Ysera play basketball as a dragon. Me too, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds me, in Heroes of the Storm, they took Asmodan from Diablo and they gave him a basketball skin called Asmodunk. And the custom voice lines for it are incredible. Because it's just this horrible demonic voice. Let's play ball. You know?
Yeah. It's like, you can play like chess against death. Play basketball with some demons. Or like whatever the sport that we can't figure out whether it was the winning team or the losing team that became human sacrifices in
game?
Aztec.
Why is right-clicking just making a pinging sound instead of being able to interact with anything? I'm gonna restart the game.
New feature.
New feature.
Ooh! That mouse, your mouse is doing shadow clone jutsu.
Oh, cool.
There it is. Yeah, just like behind the faded, it's like screen pause, but you can still see like the loading screen, and there's just a ton of cursors.
So Wesley, I'm curious why you decided to play on a PvP world. No, the level cap in WoW is 60. They did a level squish. Prior to the squish, the cap was 120. Old 120 is now current level 50.
Current level 50 is... old 120 is now current level 50. Old 50 is new 10. Old 10 is new -7.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I'm just thinking of the recent Vsauce video about aging that was like talking about 40 being the new 30 or whatever, and like the actual like math over like here's studies done on aging, and it was like this like very like non-linear thing of like, well, it turns out actually the new 20 is
Vsauce.
Yeah.
Or is
I was startled. I didn't realize it had been so long since he had made like an actually like long video. I sort of assumed that like they stopped for some reason.
Alright, here's our transportation network.
I believe you.
There's nothing here!
So,
dot question marks?
You have not actually shared your screen with me again.
Oh no, I thought I did.
It
said I did, but then it didn't.
Now it's there.
It said I did, but I guess it lied.
There is nothing here. I can't.
Yeah, you didn't see. I guess you didn't see it, but like when they had the pop like command table, and
I tabbed over like wait, have you started playing again? I tabbed over to the stream and I did see like the 3 question mark.
Yeah.
The shrug.
It was just dot question marks. Well, that's not great.
Less than ideal.
Haven't heard from the chief mushroom-ancer.
Mushroom-ancer.
Let's go talk to the chief mushroom-ancer.
That would be once psilocybin is legalized, that would be an excellent name for a for like an apothecary.
Oh, Erlon is actually on the way. Well, I guess we'll do that. You should have had the option to choose a server when you first create a character. It must have picked one at random and then you didn't choose server selection.
All I know is I certainly wasn't given a choice of server when I created my character.
Although I don't think, come to think of it, actually, I don't think PvP servers as such exist anymore now that there's war mode, so maybe that's why.
Oh, I was making a joke about being born.
Oh.
I would not have picked a PvP server had I had the choice.
They don't even auto balance the teams.
No, absolutely. Couple
The
assholes.
faction imbalance is huge on this server.
Yeah.
The masters they claim to wield. Everywhere is the masks.
Let's use these masks that cause possession as disguises. This is a good idea.
What do you fight for? Do what you must. The forest will endure. Don the mask when you are ready. You must find the others.
Hey, more swimming through the air.
The entire grove has been possessed. Take care not to be unmasked. Basilor, I feared as much. He deserved better than this. Nara was the fiercest among us. She would never have knelt to the trust.
Oh, looks like everyone's dead.
Taurus, I'd embrace you all.
Well, yeah, we're in the afterlife, aren't we?
Well,
Wait here. She yet breathes.
The Wild Hunt has need
What
of
have
us.
they done to her? What do you fight for?
why are you still flying, Arelon?
You know, you got a taste for it. Turns out he likes it.
Hey, renown 80.
Game catches up, puts him back on the ground. He's like, "Aw, that was fun though."
Do what you must.
We serve the Queen.
Oh, we found someone who's not dead, but looks like they're already halfway through being possessed. So that could be a problem.
Which is the same thing as dead, really.
Yeah. Meanwhile, mushrooms. Wesley, your character is tied to your server. If you want to do a different server, you'll have to make a new character. Well, either that or do a paid server transfer for real money.
Well, money that's as real as any money is.
For your fiat money, yes.
Who goes there? Are you here to help?
Look at this man with a mushroom on his head. Mushroom for improvement. Oh, ho, ho, ho. The mushrooms are under attack.
There's a cave near the center of the stocks. Meet me there once you are done.
I cannot fathom an actual financial reason that you would need to charge money for this. So
No, it's because
it
they want
doesn't.
money.
It's not representative. Yeah, exactly. So that's. Oh! I know this. I know this one. Was it Leo?
Was it me?
No, I think I have a PG&E scheduled outage thing this week though.
Oh.
I do like calling it network maintenance, since it's my Celio network.
Oh. like one of our quests is like, oh, there's these guys that are possessed. Kill them and plant mushrooms in their body. Okay, that's a little messed up, but all right.
That's how mushrooms grow.
Just imagine not being possessed and not in control of your own body, forced to watch as your body does all kinds of messed up things. And you think, oh good, my friend is here, maybe they can help me. And then they just cut you down and plant a mushroom in your dying body.
I mean, assuming that there isn't an actual way to free you, that's probably actually the best option. And didn't we like a couple weeks ago establish like, no, there really is not actually a way to...
Oh yeah, I mean, we're gonna encounter that during this quest here with the person who's half possessed already. But like, I don't know if we actually if that was actually established before this quest, so
Okay.
we don't know. We're just murdering.
I do think that would be a funny thing for like in a movie or something, of like for a large portion of it, the character like just indiscriminately kills like, you know, the possessed or turned or whatever, and then at some point it was like, what the fuck are you doing? So there's like, we can change them back. We can what? Like well after having just like mowed down hundreds of them, like, oh.
But only if they make that an actual plot. But only if they make that an actual plot point instead of just handily ignoring it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like there's so many stories where like the heroes will not kill the bad guy because then they just like you, but like they killed a bunch of henchmen on the way over.
Yeah, so it's like well that's or like. I like the stuff with like the Batman stuff where they were trying to like not imply that Batman had killed people because obviously he shouldn't, and no one told Zack Snyder that. So like there's like some aside that like implies like, oh no, they're not. No, those were stun explosives. Or like in the Arkham Knight, where it's particularly bad, it's like, oh yeah, you're running people over with the Batmobile, I'm sure that's fine.
Or just that one dub of Dragon Ball Z where, no, characters aren't killed, they're sent to another dimension.
Yeah.
Or anything in 4Kids Yu-Gi-Oh, actually.
Yeah.
Shadow Realm.
I serve the Queen.
Which in some cases is actually worse.
I feel like there are like, speaking of Batman, right? The thing where like, hey, we have this mandate. We're not allowed to show the Joker killing anyone. Oh, okay, cool. We're gonna have him make them comatose with a creepy smile on their face instead. Presumably still conscious. Cool. Is there a time that a censorship mandate has not resulted in something worse than the thing that they were trying to censor?
Every mushroom in Ardenweald, maybe all of the Shadowlands, stems from here. That seems implausible, but okay.
That's not how mushrooms work.
Yes. As Chief Mushroomancer, I cannot abide them trying to steal this mushroom.
What part of can't kill me in any way that matters do you not understand?
Here they come. Make ready.
Fool, you led us straight to our goal. Slay them.
Erasmius is helping us.
No matter. We are endless. I shall slay you. I will tear it out myself.
I love how they're all dead in the exact same position.
Yeah, that's just how it is. It's not like there's no physics engine to it. They're all pre-main animations.
No, but I feel like if you know you're gonna have a bunch of them in the same place, you should have like at least 2 or 3 different positions they can end in, so it doesn't look
Also,
literally like.
sorry, you just talked over dialogue and it didn't
sorry.
show up on screen. So.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Was it not supposed to? Generally,
it was supposed to. It just didn't.
Great. Okay. What did I talk over?
I don't know specifically what it was because I couldn't hear it, but basically this mushroom was like, haha, we sure showed them.
Okay.
Hi, Marasmius. This mushroom can talk.
All mushrooms can talk.
Tell me when you're ready, young one. This is always unsettling for first-timers.
Just to learn to listen.
And now we're going to ride through the mushroom network and mushroom them.
Alright, black alert.
That serves you right. Now get out of my forest.
Get shroomed. Oh, so many of them at once. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is just grumpy old man mushroom. Take one of my spores with you.
1 spore.
Somehow, Marasmius' grumbling seems to fade away into the distance, despite him not moving at all. Love that for him. Whatever does it mean? Good question. Mushroom dance, mushroom dance. Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I also forgot about it. That some dubs of Dragon Ball with the home for infinite losers in the afterlife. I mean, otherworld.
Yeah, see, that's worse.
Placing mushroom. There we go.
If it isn't my favorite mushroom tender. Come visit soon, yeah?
Marasmius has the wind on your return.
Say her, you old tree. The wind had nothing to do with it. Our young friend brought me here.
Perhaps the Fae brings to welcome us once more.
Is that what you think? So far, only this mortal has shown me the proper respect.
Hat.
Their efforts nourish us.
Oh. The fungus has already taken over the brain. It will find its way back to its home and then explode, spreading spores.
I do like what you've done with the place. And it seems the court works as diligently as
I
ever.
hear the whispers of the woods.
I'm still always freaked out when I see, like, cordyceps sold as, like, a health supplement. Like,
The Last of Us has had an impression.
Oh, I mean, even without The Last of Us, just knowing the thing that was based on.
Yeah. Anyway, instead of this guy being like, sorry, I don't have time to yak.
Yeah. I have bad news for you. In fact, all your time will be spent yakking, for you are a yak.
So true. Grove of Awakening. This dark energy disc. One touch and your soul will be sent to the Shadow Realm.
But yeah, that's worse.
Just like it's just saw blades to cut your feet off.
You can get a prosthetic foot. Generally speaking, a prosthetic soul is a little trickier.
Prosthetic soul. I want to see a character with a prosthetic soul now.
Yeah.
Actually, Leo, didn't that happen kind of in Pay Dat Rent? There was a comic where there was two characters. One was a soul who had lost their body, and the other was a body who had lost their soul and was going insane as a result. So, take soul, put in body. End result is hybrid person who is a mixture of those two people and very confused about their identity.
Well, okay, you know, I mean, that's...
But, like, they're mentally stable instead of trying to kill everyone, so that's nice.
Sure, but that was still a real soul. That wasn't like
True.
a soul specifically manufactured for the purpose of someone who lost their original. That was... Which is more what I was thinking.
I guess now that's gotta be a thing.
I feel like it has been a thing somewhere, but it is.
Maybe. Anyway, we're using Monster Reborn on another soul, apparently. Oh, a Cloud Serpent. Hello.
Fancy.
Okay, bye. Back to the living realm you go. Oh hey, we have mushrooms on the map now.
Neat.
Those are the places we can teleport to with the power of mushrooms.
I assume it's probably more based on the old idea of fairy circles, but I can't not think of Star Trek Discovery.
Also, no Wesley wasn't a dragon, it was a cloud serpent. Despite looking like Asian-style dragons, they are not officially dragons. Dragons are a very specific thing in Warcraft.
Greetings, friend. Carry a song in your heart.
Oh, hi, my dad is here, apparently. That's how cloud serpents are... We know how cloud serpents are made. In Pandaria, there's a whole quest line where you get to hatch a cloud serpent egg and raise it into a full serpent. Then you get it as a mount.
We've seen cloud serpents. Now imagine serpent clouds. They just rain snakes.
A tender touch and gentle care must guide them to their destiny.
Alright, if it's Scalian has wings, it's a dragon. What's the behold a man holds up a chicken for this?
But yeah, this is what a dragon is in Warcraft. This specific shape of being.
It's gotta have 6 limbs.
A cloud serpent is not in Warcraft lore. A cloud serpent is a separate being type. It is not evolutionarily related to the dragon. Does not have the full sapience and sentience and ability to take humanoid form that dragons do. Doesn't have the shape shifting or the elemental powers. They're just long noodles.
Everything is noodles. If you look closely enough.
I think that's the plot of string theory.
That was the joke, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was referencing.
Not the tenet of string theory, the plot of string theory.
Oh, same thing. They're both made of strings.
Wait for the spirit to finish incubating. And how long will that be? An hour.
I saw a thing that one of the competing theories for, competing theories, quantum loop gravity is, and this is not at all like an actual accurate description of what it posits, but very, very poorly explained, makes it sound like the universe is actually like one giant string tied up in a very, very complicated knot. And again, that's like very not. It's like, if you actually look at it, that's not right. But I do think it's very funny that it kind of accidentally reinvents the like trope of every atom when you shrink down inside containing a universe inside of it.
You know what it actually reminds me of is that short story, The Egg.
Yeah.
Where every person is actually the same person.
I mean, that's not actually that rare of like a...
Sure, it's just what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Hey, Ysera, did they forget to make your eyes blue here? Yeah, they did. They forgot to give you that Ardenweald glow.
Oops. I also forgot to give her a shirt.
Yeah, that's Blizzard. They didn't forget, they just chose not to. You know.
It was funny when earlier Alex draws it conjures a chest, and I noticed that line popped up in the thing just after she had went from dragon to naked woman.
Now we get a portal.
Like, are you kidding me, guys? You have to pick your words more carefully, please.
Oh yeah, there's evolution in WoW.
Yeah.
I mean, orcs are the result of a long line of evolution. They started from giant rock beasts the size of mountains, and then slowly those turned slower and more fleshy until we got Magnaron, then Gron, then ogres, and then finally orcs.
Other species, by contrast,
I think it was Ogron.
have never evolved.
I mean, some species were created when they were made of metal or rock, and then they got turned fleshy by a curse, but, you know.
No, I know, you're specifically saying that they were a result of evolution. It's like, humans, on the other hand.
Humans actually are the result of evolution in WoW. They are descended from the Vrykul. And hi, Ulfar. We're back in battle for Azeroth.
Like, oh, evolution exists, so all these very similar looking humanoids are just like divergent? No, they're completely unrelated.
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
It honestly probably has something to do with the fact that all the Titans and like Eternal Ones and stuff are humanoid form. There's probably something going on there. Some kind of cosmic alignment.
Yeah, no, there's like some... there's some creative force above all of it that has that shape, and that's why it's all like that.
Yeah. Cosmic panspermia.
Yeah.
I think that's the term. Also, I just said something really weird.
No, You're correct. I was more making a joke about the people who made the game being that shape, but
that too. There's both a Doyleist and a Watsonian thing to go with here.
I meant it as a Doyleist explanation, really.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about on TV tropes. I believe there was a page titled "Most Writers Are Human."
Yeah, most. But like from an actual from a metaphysical standpoint, even if you do have an in-universe explanation for it, there is a even higher force that did create that explanation. Reminds me of there was a sketch Loading Ready Run did where they were trying to explain why there were all these similarities between different Bungie properties. And
is it because they were all made by Bungie?
Well, no, so the punchline is like, I don't know which is more concerning, that you've reinvented Gnosticism or that you think Bungie is God.
Pitiful mortal. That witless Thornspeaker led you right into my grasp.
I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. Oh yeah, elves in WoW are mutant trolls. All elves are descended from trolls. Not that I'm sure they would like to remind people of that. Trolls were actually one of the first empires Azeroth ever saw in ancient history. Some of them like to think that they still have that empire and or want to restore it. That's been the cause of strife sometimes. The fact that half-elves exist that are half-elf, half-human really raises some questions about how species work. And then and then there's Medan. Literally called the Child of Three Worlds at one point, I think. He is half human, quarter orc, quarter Draenei. So, right. Humans, which are from Azeroth, descended from Vrykul, which were descended from the Iron Vrykul via the Curse of Flesh. Orcs from the planet Draenor, which were descended from ogres, descended from all that stuff, descended from giant mountainous rock colossals. And then the Draenei, which we don't really know much about their genealogy, aside from that some of them went on to go become demons, but these are the ones that didn't do that.
Right. Second.
Have you come to learn? Strength of the forest go with you.
Okay, back to the Shadowlands. Oh, and look at this hat we have.
Back.
Yeah, dwarves are stone robots that were cursed with flesh. And gnomes were robots that were cursed with flesh.
But is there no is there no one I track. Is there anyone that were flesh that were cursed with robot?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, there's the mechagnomes on Mechagon who are turning themselves back into robots, but that's kind of its own thing. Mm-hmm. So the Draenei-Eridar connection is there was originally just a species of blue people called Eridar. Then the Burning Legion rocked up and was like, hey, you want to get some cool power? And most of them were like, yes, sign me up, and became demons. Whereas a couple of them were like, I don't know, that sounds kind of evil and bad, and they left, becoming the Draenei. Draenei literally meaning exiled ones in their language, although it was kind of a self-imposed exile. And the remaining Eridar are also known as the Manarai, or corrupted Eridar. Kinda. The Draenei story is also a retcon. Originally, the kind of devolved Draenei, known as the Lost Ones and the Broken, those were just what the Draenei looked like, and the Eridar were a separate thing entirely. And then, when the Draenei were added as a playable race in WoW Burning Crusade, they retconned in a connection there. Because in the words of YouTuber with the Killian Experience, someone showed a picture of the old design for the Draenei to the corporate, and they had to rush the entire marketing team to the hospital. Let's see if I can find a picture of probably Burning Crusade, Black Temple. So yeah, this is what the Draenei used to look like, as this was all that they looked like. This was their only canonical appearance and design. Was they every Draenei looked like this, and then they're like, actually, that's just a small subset of mutated Draenei.
Or
we can't market this.
yeah. I mean, they probably could have, but
they didn't want to. Oh, wait, the question marks keep moving. Where's... Oh, shout out to this person with the auction house mount you can't buy anymore. There's just an auction house here. Portable. Where did I go? Okay, the question mark keeps teleporting around. Okay, over here.
The wild hunt welcomes you. Our prey beware.
She slumbers for now, though her dreams offer little solace.
We will find a way to save you, Oya. I swear it.
Ah, they gave her name color the unfriendly orange. It's a nice detail because she's like being halfway through being possessed.
Kivar resides in a den near Eventide Grove. We'll meet you there.
Arelon blames himself for this misfortune. I fear guilt may overwhelm him.
I remember a comic that I'm not going to link because it's kind of a questionable source, but there was a comic that was like all races have females that look the same, except for humans, where the men just kind of also look like women in comparison to all these other like beast races like mushroom men and orcs and stuff, and concluded that humans must be deviants and therefore must be purged.
The trust dare lay claim to this grove.
Kivar isn't here. There are signs of a struggle. Something must have happened to her. The forest will endure. Search the grove. Trust could not have taken her far.
Swimming man! Hi, I found you.
Up. Strength of the forest go with you. Beware. My cage has 3 separate locks, each with its own key. I think the trust might be afraid of me.
I feel like it might be easier to just break the cage, given that it's made out of wood by the looks of it, but what do I know? Like, surely I could just hit it really hard.
It's like, no, it could withstand that. Well, what if I hit it harder than that?
Like, the strength of a security system is only as strong as its weakest component. Like, I think Lockpicking Lawyer demonstrates this frequently on YouTube. Because it's like, sure, maybe your lock is unpickable, you can't go through the locking mechanism, or like, it might take you like hours or something, but it doesn't matter if you can get it off in 5 seconds with a bolt cutter. You know? Like, if you don't need to pick the lock, you can just tear it in half. That sort of thing. Or like, cool, you've put a really powerful lock on your door. Okay, I have an axe I'm going to break your door with. I'm going to go through or go around the lock and break the door. Wait, why are you a squirrel now? You were a cat a minute ago. Hello? What? Oh, no, it's a different person. They got swapped out. Okay.
Yeah, I leave to get a snack, and I come back and you're a different animal? What nonsense is this?
So, an actual different person. Also, squirrel in a cage where all of the holes in the cage are larger than their body.
Larger than a, yeah.
Hold on, I think I need to approach from a doorway or something to hit an appropriate trigger here. Nope, I'm probably just going to have to fight this guy twice.
I fight for Ardenweald. Come for
Yep, I have not located Kivar. Oh, I think I know what this is. They expect me to follow that guy. Why are you going that way? If we hurry... Yes, let's hurry by going in the correct direction.
Oh, in the wrong direction. Got it.
Quest design. Okay, let's see if I come through here on the ground. Does that mean anything? Yes, I know, if we hurry. Come on. Yes. Come on. Yes. I know. Come on. Let's go. We don't got all day here, Nika.
Look, we have little legs.
I will pick you up and carry you if I have to. Can I fight yet? We're not too late! Yeah, no thanks to you. Okay, now I can fight him and kill him and get credit. That Blizzard quality, everybody.
Perfect timing, you two. Though you did cut it close.
Hey, it ain't my fault.
Maintain the balance. Meet me back at my den. I will do whatever I can to assist you. What can this old thorn speaker do for you? Strike fast. Mawwalker, you gather the Nox root. Arelon, we will need a witch's satchel. Stealing one from the Drust will be a perilous task.
Time to go grocery shopping for roots. You know, I don't know why I still have this mask on. Like, I think this is left over from that time I was in disguise. I don't think I'm
sure
supposed to still have this.
Concerning.
And just getting a little bit mind controlled.
What mask? That's just close.
It's Jim Carrey's The Mask. You know, I haven't seen that movie, but I keep seeing people reanimate clips of it with Spamton from Deltarune, so now I kind of want to see it. Needs to be a pointy stick you can poke escort NPCs to make them hurry up. But think of how that would devalue everyone who's ever gone through the that one quest in Shattrath. With, oh, let me show you around. This won't take long. Like a 6 or 8 minute quest to just walk around the city. Burning Crusade was a different time.
Yeah.
I liked how in Warlords of Draenor they brought that thing back to escort NPCs around your garrison forever. Those poor fools.
Tell me of your world.
Sorry, guy in a cage, but I don't have an objective to free you. I'm just here for some roots. You're not my problem. Bye!
Fortunate.
Hey, if you want to do the original OX chicken escort quest, you can always just play classic WoW.
What is it? Speak up. Maintain
And of
balance.
course Arelon hasn't returned, so we have to go do his job for him too.
I fear he may be in danger.
Of course. When can we ever trust NPCs to get something done?
Never.
These Spriggans need to be stopped. I say we give them a taste of their own medicine.
Arelon's spear, but no Arelon. I'm sure he's fine. Feeding up elite monsters. Oh, I just did 420 damage on something. That's nice. Hey, we got the thing Aralon got sent out for. Also, I found half of his spear. I didn't find him, but I got what we needed. You didn't look for him? Was I supposed to? You just told me to get the satchel.
What can this old thorn speaker do for you?
We stalk the moonless night. For Queen, I will send a search party at once. We will not lose him.
I fight for Ardenweald. Beware.
Alright, time to break the mind control.
Oh boy.
Destroy those things quickly. Keep at it. The Drust's hold upon her is weakening.
Have we tried taking off the mask? Like, that might be a good first step, is remove the mask that's actively possessing her. Or, like, break it or something. I mean, I'm no ritual expert, but... that's like trying to patch someone up from injuries while they still have a knife sticking out of their torso. And, like, not doing anything about that.
This curse is nearly broken.
Yeah. Sorry, I completely zoned out there for a second.
And they died.
She did not survive.
Well, glad that was all worthwhile.
Well,
Nope, we can't break possession after all.
My oath is to the forest.
And also Aralon is missing now.
Good hunting. Bring word to the Winter Queen. She will want to know of this.
Invaders, aren't you?
Troubling news, mortal. I had hoped we would discover the means to restore those possessed by the Drust. Sadly, those taken are now lost to us. Gorak Zar will pay dearly for the wound she has inflicted upon my realm.
Okay. So that's chapter 6 done. I believe we did 5 chapters today and we have 3 left.
The hunt has been called.
Do we want to try and finish the whole Night Fate campaign today, or should we save the rest for next week?
oh,
Or
I
next
mean,
time.
how long do you think that would be?
I mean,
Because if
just-
it's a while, probably next week would be.
yeah. I mean, we've
a
been
better
going for
idea,
about
'cause I'm
3.
already feeling.
We've been going for about 3.5 hours so far. If it carries on at the same rate, probably another hour and a half-ish.
I don't know. I'm feeling kind of tired.
Yeah, I figure this is a decent point to stop.
Yeah, let's do that. All right.
Alright, we'll call it here for today. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Next week, if things go well, next week I believe will be a stream of the Splatoon 3 demo.
Only.
Yeah. So, if there's polearm next week, it'll be on a Sunday. We'll figure it out when the time comes.
Sounds good.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.